Hello and welcome back to Train Sim World. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Tees Valley line that just came out very recently. So I'm going to be taking a look at this line, and what we're going to do is this is going to be the first part, as I always do, in a multi-part sort of first impression / review together. So in this one I'm going to be looking at the tutorials that are available. We'll go through them, and then over the next few videos we're going to be going through the scenarios, and we'll probably do a few of them. For example, 3 becomes 2 might be an interesting one, this one might be an interesting one, this one might be an interesting one, so we'll have a look. In fact, that one might be an interesting one, so we'll try and see which ones we do. So make sure you stay tuned for the rest of this video, plus maybe the next 2 or 3, to see what I think of the brand new Tees Valley line for Train Sim World. Right, before I continue, I'm just going to quickly go over the 3 trains that come with this line, in addition to a couple of other things. The first one is the Class 101 BLG. Now, this was also available in the other line, the Transpennine Express. However, this is a 3-car variant with this weird middle car thing, whilst the other one was just a 2-car. So they've added 1 extra car. I'm not too sure about that, to be completely honest. The second one that we get is the Class 37 5s. So we get this, and we get this in the Rail Freight livery, British Rail Freight livery with the steel work. So this is going to be quite an interesting one. Seeing these in real life, they're big. However, the one that surprises everybody generally who doesn't really know any or do not know things about trains is this one. Now, in the thumbnail, it looks kind of small. However, let me assure you, this train or this locomotive is not small. This is the Class 08, and we're definitely going to be enjoying this one. They are big locomotives, a lot bigger than they seem. In fact, if you have a look at the size of this in comparison to the 37, look how low the 37 actually is compared to the 08. The 08 is a lot higher up, and in fact it's higher up than this as well. So it's a big train, or it's a big locomotive, should I say. Very powerful shunter. Let's go into the tutorial, shall we? And I'll go through all of them, including the 101, because it will give us a good idea of what's going on outside. But I do know how to already drive the 101. But let's go through the 37, and let's learn the basics of starting and stopping a Class 37 diesel electric locomotive. Okay, Class 37
Welcome
introduction.
To Class 37
someone
/5
talks.
diesel electric locomotives in rail freight sector livery. This brief introduction will go through the startup and stop procedures. The rear locomotive is already running with its tail lights on and its handbrake released. Climb aboard the lead locomotive to get started.
Okay, well, before I do any of that, how do I get rid of these again? F1 is that. Is it shift and 1, 2, 3 something? Control and 1, 2, 3. I want to get rid of the mark. In fact, I suppose I'll just do that. There we go. Done. Let's take a picture of this, because I don't know which one I'm going to use for a thumbnail. So there's one. Let's have a look around. Okay, we can't go further than this. Good detailing to start with. Lots of little shrubs and things like that, as you would expect at a railway depot. You can't really go very far. 37521. I like the modelling there. Good modelling. It says that this locomotive is running. I hate to break it to you. The lights are on, but that locomotive is not running. Information about the Class 37, 107 tons, 50 tons of brake force, maximum speed 80 miles per hour. Great looks, really does look great. And again, that's one thing that I'm going to say every time I play Train Sim World. Looks wise, it's absolutely fantastic. Right, let's go ahead and climb aboard. Now I've climbed aboard one of these engines before. These, not a Class
time will be
A7,
spent
but
driving, so take a seat to continue.
let's bring that back up. It's quite high up. Right, sit in the driver's seat.
The master key is used to activate the driver's controls.
It started up the other engine, didn't it? Yeah, it started up another engine. Right, let's get that master key turned. That's over there. Come on. Click it. And see, that's a problem. There we go. Right.
Set the reverser as indicated in preparation to start the engine.
There we go. Basically neutral.
Go ahead and start the locomotive.
And then we've got the stop switch there. Can I get rid of these for a moment? There we go. That's it. You can hear it firing up. That's more like it.
With the handbrake holding the locomotives, set the train brake as indicated.
Right, so the handbrake is that one over there, so that's holding the locomotive. Now we can set the train brake to what we need. So it needs to go to running.
The main reservoir will
We're going to
take a moment to charge.
Right, that reservoir's just there.
Now use the reverser to set the direction of travel.
That's our force. Right, we're going to move this into forward.
Light.
Marker lights and instrument lights. Instrument lights are up here, I remember that.
It's time to move. Set the handbrake as indicated.
Right, so with this, I think you just hold down. So click on the mouse and just drag down. That should release the handbrake. Takes a while. Is that not? Come on. I'm pretty sure that's how you do it. Okay, maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. No.
Increase the throttle to start.
Not a
moving.
clue.
Do
Not
not
a clue
apply
what
too
happened.
much power too quickly.
Now with this, of course, it's going to be really nice to do this. Right, let's get this noise, and obviously I'm going to amplify the noise once again. Come on.
With the train now moving, it's possible to apply more power and focus on achieving a desired speed.
Okay, so let's get ourselves our speedometer up. Nope. That one. Because I don't know what the speed is in the yard. Interesting. Analog controls, once again. That's idle or coasting. Why does it want me to go to a higher speed still? How fast do you want me to go? There you go.
Coasting
Right.
is a method used to efficiently
Yeah, I know about coasting.
make use of the brakes and throttle controls to manage the train and prevent overspeeding.
Sure.
Approaching the stop marker, apply a small amount of brake force to achieve a comfortable stop.
There's our brake force. That should slow us down very nicely. We'll set that to release. Got to get used to this train. Alright, I'm a few meters away.
Good work. That concludes all the basics of this locomotive.
Well, what about the slow speed control? You haven't taught me the slow speed control. This locomotive's supposed to have a slow speed control. Achievement unlocked. TVL tractor trainee. Fine. Let's see what happens. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next one. Admittedly, I was hoping that they would show me the slow speed control on this, but we'll go to the next tutorial. So this locomotive has a slow speed control because it allows you to sort of set up a speed, and then you can go over, for example, or under something that's filling up coal, so you don't accelerate or brake, and you don't have to manage that itself. In fact, on the Trains in World website, it does say the 37.5s were also fitted with slow speed control, which is an essential function when it comes to loading and unloading hoppers.
Welcome to this Class 101 3-car diesel mechanical multiple unit in
All
British
right.
Rail Blue.
So this is a
grey
DMU.
livery. This brief introduction will cover startup, stopping and passenger operations.
Now this one I
Before
definitely
getting
know.
started, some of the controls must be set in the rear cab. Head over and climb aboard.
Now this train I know already. So this is the new sort of middle carriage thing that they've got, complete with that. So this is their new middle carriage, which actually, like I said, it's in a great condition. Right. Let's just walk in. I know what to do here anyway.
Red lights are used to signify that this is
I'm
the
gonna
rear
leave that.
of the operational train.
Yep, I know how to do this. So I'll show you guys how to do this anyway. So we just do this. That one has to be moved down, I believe, and that gives you the red marker
While the
lights at
brakes
the back.
in the lead
There
vehicle
you
hold
go.
the train, set this
Okay.
brake as indicated.
And this one has to have the handbrake released, which again shouldn't take so long. There you go.
Everything's now set
That's
up,
done.
so head to the front of the train to continue preparations.
And that's something that I've done before. So now we've got to just walk our way over to the front of the train, and that's how we'll continue. Now you can actually go through the train. In fact, should we just do that? Let's go through the train so you guys can have a look at the train. Let's figure that out so we can do that. Okay. There we go. You can have a look at the train itself. So this is inside the 101. It's a little bit tilted. Yeah, it's definitely tilted. Okay. This is the middle. That weird middle part. Sort of like what you get on a bendy bus. Not the greatest of modelling, admittedly. Oops. I'll close that one. Like that. And then there. And now we're at the front. So the great thing about this train is that it has windows. When we get to the front carriage, you can have a look. It has windows at the front, which means that you can actually see out. So for those people who are sitting here on these ones, you can actually just sit here and sort of look out.
When ready,
can see
sit in the
like
driver's
that.
seat.
So, oops, sorry, this guy's probably thinking, what is he doing? He's the driver. Right, so you can just get into the driver's seat. Now, starting this engine's interesting.
The control circuit key is used to activate the driver's desk.
So that's over here, somewhere. Just down there, I think. There it is. These
White
go
lights will
up.
indicate to anyone around that this is the front of the operational train.
Yeah, that goes up. Throttle must go all the way to full on this train. Then we must start
This
the
train
engines.
features 2 engines in
But-
each driving vehicle. Start the engines in this vehicle.
Something it doesn't say. Make sure that your gear is selected in neutral. Just make sure it's always in neutral. So then we'll start one engine and then you've got to start the other. There's one.
Now start the engines in the rear vehicle.
That's the second, and then you bring this down to idle, like so.
Give a quick glance of the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors.
Yeah, all is safe, and then we'll unlock the doors, in this case on the left hand side. So the passengers are going to be loading in. Now whilst that's happening, we've got a reverser here, which we can put in forward, which unfortunately at this moment in time doesn't seem to want to go. There we go. So that's now in forward. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put it in gear before anything. And then the brakes on this are essentially, you set your brake force and then you bring it to a running mode. And then once you do that, it just holds the brakes at that kind of range. Also, the other thing, we've got panel lights there. We've also got RPM changeover, which we probably won't have, we won't be able to experience here. And that tells you when you should be changing up and down gears, I believe. So this is the Class 101, which is a nice, interesting train. I do like this train a lot because you actually have to change the gears, and I think that's fantastic. A train where you actually have to change the gears. Right, let's lock those doors. Alright, so we've got to put this in first once the handbrake...
Set the handbrake.
Once the handbrake is released. That's the handbrake released. Now, here we go.
System similar to cars on the road. To attain higher speeds, the active gear...
That's sound first. Right.
The brakes on this train act like a water tap. The higher the setting, the faster the train will stop. Open the valve to select the desired pressure, then close it again to maintain that pressure.
So at this point in time, we're just going on to full release. Now, watch
Increase
this.
the throttle to start moving. Do not apply too
The
much
train
power
immediately
too
starts
quickly.
moving, first of all.
It's important to provide a smooth ride for passengers.
But this is always enjoyable, and here we go. Now changing up is also very interesting. Where are my wiper controls on this? I don't know. It hasn't let me set the destination board either. Right, now we need to change gear. So what we're going to do...
The process of changing gear has several steps. Set the throttle to idle and allow the engine RPM to reduce below the yellow zone. Engage the new gear, then return to the desired throttle application. Let's try.
Okay, so what we do is, first of all, we're going to get ready to change gear. So you have to have your gear set. So for me, it's the hash key. So I'm going to drop that to idle, bring that up, and then
that the train now has the
back into
ability
the
to
next.
accelerate to a higher speed. When the RPM dial reaches the top of the yellow zone, repeat the gear change process to continue accelerating.
This is always good fun. I love doing this. So you'll see 24, 25, 26, 27. It's saying up, bring that down, wait for that to drop out of the yellow, engage the clutch, next gear.
There's a short distance between here and the next stop, so be sure to manage the train and prevent overspeeding.
Right.
To cruise at a constant speed, the highest gear should be engaged. This reduces the speed the engine operates at and is fuel efficient.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put it into fourth, and we're just going to do that. There we go. Now I don't know where the next stop is, but it's telling us all about the brakes and everything like that, so not really fussed. All of these things it's telling us what. So the brake controls for me are right next to the gears, and then on the other side I've got my reverse and throttle. It's really good. Right, I'm going to bring this down because we are coming into a 30, and I still can't find the wiper controls. Where are my wiper controls? That's what I want to know. There they are. Perfect. Right, coming to platform 2. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop the gear to third. And I'm just going to idle all the way down. Trying to find the platform. There it is. We're in a 30. I'll ease it in. Should be pretty good. Right. Getting used to this though is a little bit difficult. If you've not done this before, it's very difficult to start.
Stopping a train in the right place is the greatest skill of a driver. It may take a few attempts to get it right.
Yes, it will. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting on the brakes. There we go. That looks pretty good for the brakes. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, and I'll release them. 15. See, that was pretty cool. The fact that actually works for me. Now we'll just stop the train on the platform. I'll bring down the gear again. Actually, should probably... It's saying to select the gear to gear 4, but...
Start applying
don't
a
know
small
why.
amount of brake force now to achieve a comfortable stop.
Right, here we go.
Aim to be doing no more than 15 miles per hour when the train reaches the platform.
Yeah,
Then
we've
come
already
to a
been
stop
through this.
anywhere alongside.
Nice and gentle. Rolling up to the end of the platform somewhat. There we go, we're done. Right, gear now goes to neutral. Now neutral is past the 4.
Well done. Practice makes perfect.
Make sure your
Give a quick
brakes...
glance at the platform to ensure all is safe and then unlock the doors.
Yes, but first of all, make sure your brakes are actually applied. Which in this case, they are barely applied.
Good work. That's the basics covered. A manual can also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this train and more.
Now I think the manual's probably something that would be good to do. Right, so we've done that. Now for the last part, which is going to be having a look at the Class 08. So next tutorial, and this is the one I'm really looking forward to. I want to see what they have in the Class 08. So if I read some of the information that it says about the whole Class 08. Oh wait, never mind, we're already in.
Welcome to this Class 08 diesel-electric shunting locomotive in BR Corporate Blue livery. This brief introduction will go through the start and stop procedures.
And again, you can see
Before
how
entering the
big this locomotive is.
The battery isolation switches need setting. Start with the left side.
You can see just how big this locomotive is. Now compare that to the 37. It's bigger than the 37, right? So the isolations, they're over here. So we need to open up that door, and we need to right. We need to set this to normal, like that. So that's pushed in, and then go ahead and close that door. Next up, we go over to the opposite side. And there's another one on this side for the battery isolation, so we're going to do that. There we go. And then we're going to get into the cab now. Most people would probably look at this and think, what on earth is that massive? Because normally we have the engine, we have the cab up here, and then a little bit of engine and the engine at the back. In this one, the cab is at the back, like so. And it's like one of the American locomotives, or steam locomotives really, where if you look at it, you've got the boiler up the front. So this is a bit like a steam locomotive in that sense. So, open the door, close that.
Active lights are important to let others around know this locomotive is operational.
And you can see here, this is a very different cab. Right, so we've got lights here.
A lot of time will be spent driving, so take a seat to continue.
And you can see that the driver's seat here is one that you can just swivel around on, so you can see in both directions. If we have a look outside now, which it's not going to... Of course it's not going to let me, of course not. Right.
Go ahead and start the locomotive.
So that's over here. Oops, there we go.
Now that the engine is running, the master switch needs to be set.
Right, so now that needs to go to the on position.
The main reservoir will take a moment to charge. This can be observed by watching the brake dials.
Right, now the brake dial's
over
over
there. To ensure that
there.
nothing moves while preparations continue, adjust the locomotive brake accordingly.
So we're going to slam that down all the way. That's to emergency.
The locomotive brake is holding the train, so the rest of the brakes can be released.
We can get rid of the handbrake, it seems. I think this is the handbrake. Yeah, this is the handbrake. There you go. Now we'll bring the train brake down to running. There we go. Reversers can go forward.
Direction of travel.
So that's going to be forward. And now...
Track alignment plays a large role when manoeuvring around a yard. Head out on foot and adjust the indicated junction as required.
And this is where things are pretty cool. So now we've actually got to go up there and sort out the junction for ourselves. So our train is in shunting operation mode. That's why it's got the red and the white light. So that's showing it's in shunting. I can't remember what it's supposed to be exactly. And we'll go ahead and
the path is now
change
set.
that.
Head back to the cab and continue preparations.
Yep. Is that set for me? That's not set. That's set. There we go. I would have derailed it there. That would have been terrible. Go through the entire video, derail the train. Is it supposed to be one white, one red at the front like that? I can't remember anymore. I can't remember what... There are a few conventions for how we do this, or should I say how engineers do this. Right, now...
It's time to move. Set the locomotive brake as indicated.
So there's my locomotive brake. That's now released. And now we're going to be looking
Increase
up here.
the throttle to start moving. Do not apply too much power too quickly. Be sure not to exceed over 800 amps.
So there you go. You can't exceed over 800 amps. And also you can see here, there's our ammeter. There's our speedometer. This is our water temperature. There's our brake pipe pressure. There's our reservoir pressure. I think so, yep. And then... Oh no, that's our reservoir pressure, or brake pipe pressure. That's our reservoir pressure. There's a lot of things in this, right. Here we go.
With the train now moving, it's possible to apply more power and focus on achieving a desired speed.
Right. We're gonna crank our way up in the speed. And you can see how quickly this thing picks up speed.
Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain a constant speed. Make use of the brakes and throttle controls to manage the train and prevent overspeeding.
Now this one, we're going to use the direct brake. We only have a single, what do you call it? Single horn. Absolutely love it. Now someone would probably be sitting on that side. Or for this, I'd probably be sitting on that side. So I can actually see what's going on. It's still quiet. I love how this looks though. I'm not sure about this tinted glass. Or this murky sort of glass. They could have cleaned that up. I mean, that's something that I would always keep clean, personally, so, you know. Alright, let's keep our speed up. You'll notice all the ground here is flat. As it needs to be. Because if it wasn't flat, that would be a problem. And I do like these analog controls way more than the notched controls that we have in other trains. Or other locomotives, should I say. And the reason I say that is because even though, for example, I like the Class 43, I wish it had an analog control. It would be much easier to keep speed.
Approaching the stop marker, apply a small amount of brake force to achieve a comfortable stop.
Alright, so we're going to be using the direct brake here. As you can see there, it's very, very easy to slow this train down. Did I? Oh, it's going to put me through the whole thing again. No, it's not. It's just going to give... Ooh, this is fancy. Okay. So it's very easy to stop this train. It's just I wasn't expecting it to do that. Alright, I'll just stop it early then. It seems I'll just stop it early. There you go, stopped.
Good work. That concludes all the basics of this locomotive.
And done. What's it done now? Is it going to load me up again because I was about half a meter over? It is as well. Well, that's annoying. Alright, I tell you what, I'll just slow it down from here. There you go. Let's see what happens if I try and slow it down at that pace from this far. And if it says to me I've undershot it, I'm going to be highly annoyed. 30 yards, 20 yards, 15 yards. Well, as long as I'm 10 yards away or so, it should be fine. Yeah, it's happy.
Good work. That concludes all the basics of this locomotive.
And after 3 attempts, that concludes this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Train Sim World, Tees Valley Railway. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your supports would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. Aside from that, I suppose you can also find me on social media at ECGadget, LP for both Twitter and Instagram. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time in Train Sim World Tees Valley Line, where we are going to be, let's see, I think we'll do some 3 becomes 2, and let's see if we can sort this out. It'll be a half an hour scenario. It seems quite easy, and then we'll see what other ones we can do. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.